Good morning. It is Friday, August the 23rd. It's about 10:30 a.m. Meteorologist Shay Gibson giving you an update for the CORA Indigo Cup race to Georgetown. That starts this afternoon. One fleet leaves at 3, the other one at 5. And we did the skippers meeting last night and went over the forecast. Some concerns were some wave heights that are going to be steadily going down, and also a little bit of rain. Have some updates on that today. Things are looking a little bit better overall, I would say. Still got to look out for a few scattered showers out there on the ocean. But let me go ahead and put myself down here in the corner. Here's the WPC surface map where we're showing that frontal feature that's going to, it looks like it's going to stay well offshore through the next 24 to 36 hours, which is a good thing because in earlier runs this was nudging a little closer to the coastline, and now the WPC and others feel it's going to just hang off the coast a little bit farther out. It does come in somewhat close, but at least the warm front segment that was going to be approaching Cape Fear has backed away just a little bit on the last run, so this is into tonight. So it looks like this front's going to linger out there closer to the Gulf Stream rather than closer to us. But that does not mean that it won't impact the winds. And so right now, if we look at visible satellite, we can see a lot of shower, storm activity out over the ocean, mainly over the Gulf Stream. A little bit over the cooler shelf waters. Which we're sitting at about 82, 83 degrees on sea surface temperatures. Gulf Stream right around 85, so a little bit cooler over the shelf. It looks like we got some air drying out with that northeast flow underneath. So we see that southwest or south-southwest upper shear ongoing, or the upper flow. You can see the cirrus streaming off to the north, and down at the surface, we're seeing a north-northeast or northeast wind. And so when we get short waving that's close by the coast, we end up perturbing the winds where they would normally be in the east-northeast fetch at this time of the day with sunshine. Now we're seeing clouding and short waving nearby, so the winds are actually backing a little bit more offshore. And that is exactly the case for today. I may have to go into my pro forecast to do an update, special update here in the next hour, hour and a half, to reflect more of a north-northeast flow for today. And as we're seeing right now, out across the harbor, the speeds are not as high as anticipated because we're not getting that northeast fetch and that heating element that goes along with it. When you have pure sunshine, blue skies, and a frontal boundary nearby, but not close enough to spread those clouds over, we end up with that northeast veering east-northeast by about late morning. So we're almost to late morning hours. It looks like we're going to continue to see, I would say, 12 to 16 knots because we're getting that 16 knot high end at Folly, south end of Folly. And then offshore, the gradient is stronger. So we have 16 knots out here. Capers near shore reading 16, gust 21. Farther out at the Charleston 60, this is 18 miles out. We're getting 21 knots from the east. So you can see where the gradient is divided, where we see that easterly element being impacted somewhere out here about 15 to 18 miles out. And that'll continue to be the case for today. So I think as long as you're staying in closer to the coast where the wave action is going to be less, you might have some headwinds to go up against from that north-northeast fetch. So it may make it a little bit more challenging to get up the coast a little faster. But if we do get that easterly flow, if the sun does come through and some of those clouds break and we get that easterly element to come through, then for sure you'll be able to run the rum line. So a little bit challenging today where that frontal boundary and the short waving is impacting the wind directions, which ultimately impacts the speeds. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the wave heights. So right now we're at about 4 feet. This is maybe about 5 nautical miles off of Bulls Bay. So I would say off of Capers Island, 4 feet out there. We don't have a true reading on Corp because that buoy, that Cap 2 wave buoy, is not reporting right now. I think it's probably popped from its moorings. But we're looking like right now, and then as we go through the day, we'll see that lower amount start to occur where we get down to 3. By 5 p.m., we're looking at 3 feet out there, about 4 to 5 nautical miles. So that's a good sign with the wave direction coming in right around 100 degrees, maybe 90 degrees at this point. That offshore wind, as long as it stays offshore, you'll have a nice little cushion that occurs over where the land shadowing is out over the water. So if we have this north-northeast fetch coming in, the closer to the coast you go, the less the wave action until you get farther out where that north-northeast fetch is completely over the water, no matter what. Then we end up with a bigger swell out there, which is why the new models, refreshed models, are coming in with a lower amount of wave action. So 4, 5, 10 o'clock p.m. tonight, we're still at 3 feet. Maybe slipping down to 2 by the time we round the AM hour. So 8 a.m. we're looking at, well, still 3 out this far out. but I think we'll probably be dropping down to 2.5 as we round the corner up near Winyah Bay. If we redo this, let me see if I can get it to work again. There we go. So 4 feet at 8 a.m. farther out. So like I said, the closer to the coast you go, the less swell. So by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're dropping down to 3 feet. So as you get into Winyah Bay, more like 2. So that's going to be the wave impacts there. If we look at the near shore wave prediction system, again, we see that 4-foot swell out there at 5 nautical miles, starting to slip overnight and fall all the way down into the morning hours. So, with that offshore gradient, it's going to keep the wave action a little bit higher. But I think through the day, through the afternoon into tonight, we're going to see the wave heights go down. Closer to the coast you are, the safer you are. As far as precip, now here's the HRRR coming in with readings that are spreading the rain north and also west towards the coast. But notice how it's drying out. We have some drier air that's moved in over the top of this front that's circulating around that high pressure. And so what that does is it staves off a lot of the storm activity, or keeps most of it to our south and to our southwest, maybe over Savannah. Savannah may get some of that action later today or into this afternoon. So what we really got to watch for is some of that could make it up towards the Charleston area. This is 2:45 in the afternoon. We're looking at 3, so we're barely on the cusp of this thing, where it tries to surge north into our area but gets dried out, and that's what we're hoping is going to continue to happen. Still cannot rule out an isolated convective shower or two out there. I would say if it does make it this far north, be on the lookout for potential surges of gusty winds, right? So nothing severe like 60 miles an hour, but just saying you might see something that's 10, maybe 12 knots higher than the average is at that point in time. So just be aware of that for some gusts. And then as we get into later today, tonight, this evening, things start to really improve, right? So we see that rain breaking up. It looks like pretty decent overnight. Now, tomorrow morning, around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we may see some of that action start to approach Georgetown again as the daytime heating begins. We start another round of daytime heating, diurnal heating, we call it, and then we end up with maybe some more showers. So the NAM3 here let's see, this is this afternoon at 2. Whoops. Maybe a little bit clicky here. And then we get into tonight, 6 p.m., and the NAM3 holds it back. As we get into tomorrow morning, this is 4 a.m., and then this is about 6 a.m. We see some of that shower, maybe convective shower activities trying to approach the coast near Winyah Bay and Georgetown. So just be aware of that. I think if everybody's in by 6 or 8 a.m. in the morning, should be okay. So again, looking at this afternoon for that potential rain and showers right off the coast. So just be wary of that. Bring your rain jackets. Make sure that you stay dry. Either way, be safe, enjoy, and have a good time out there. Godspeed. We'll see you on the next race. Thank you.